And we emphasize that if you come late, we will not allow you to eat into the allotted time of the aspirant who will be compliant with the time observation. So that aspirant may miss out until maybe all the other booked slots have been utilized, and then we identify for him or her a free slot. So we also emphasized that one. We also pointed out the campaign, the nomination program. We wanted to brief them about that program so that they know what is going to happen and who has booked what time. That one I think is for them. Who has booked what time and which day is not for maybe for everybody, it's for the aspirants. We also talked about the media coverage of the nomination exercise. This is a very important event in the country, and the people ought to know what's going on. And we also emphasize that in national and international television and radio broadcasters who will be interested in covering the nomination exercise live or broadcasting live the nomination exercise will be advised to hand over their live broadcasting units to the office of the public relations officer not late of the Electoral Commission, not later than 31st of October, for further delivery to the nomination venue. Now, it is not, I think in our discussions we found that for purposes of observing social distancing, minimizing the numbers of persons at the venue, because remember, the nominations start at 10 in the morning up to 5 p.m. for 2 days. So we felt we need to minimize on the numbers. And I think for that matter, I think we said we will not have more than how many media personnel, Paul? 30. So please note that if you have not been invited or accredited, doesn't mean you are not important. No, you are, but we need to put down to keep the numbers low for purposes of our own safety. So we have also informed them that broadcasters who are interested in short videos and pictures of the nomination exercise are advised to provide their email addresses to our PR office here. We also pointed out to them that they will be allowed some time with the media. I think after nomination, the candidate will want to address the people. So we have also told them that they will have an opportunity to do that. The media persons, now that you are here, who have been cleared to attend, please, you are reminded that you'll be required also to present the COVID negative test results. I don't know who is going to meet this. We had to say the media houses can do that. You're already rich. Remember, they are complaining, you're already charging them. That's something they complained about. They said the media houses, they have tripled charges. For 15 seconds, they charge over 1 million. I said, benign. Anyway, so we also called upon the aspirants, their agents and supporters to make sure they follow the stated guidelines to ensure that the process goes on smoothly. We have, as a commission, assured them of our dedication and commitment to have a peaceful and safe nomination exercise. So these are some of the things but they also raised a number of issues. Of course, one of them, since you are here, the charges the media are now imposing. Very prohibitive, very high. We promised to take up the matter with the National Association of Broadcasters because we were assured by your leaders that they would not, the media entities would not charge abnormally or abnormal rates compared to what has been trending. We also emphasize that, look, we think the media should also play a role, make a contribution in the quest to mitigate the spread of the virus by not overcharging the aspirants or the candidates who will not be conducting the traditional mass rallies or public rallies, where the cost is a bit minimal. So we are going to raise this with the media broadcasters and see what they said. Then the other thing we pointed out to them is their entitlement after nomination. Each aspirant is entitled to a security vehicle, a manned security vehicle, and also, I think, residential security. These are facilities that the Electoral Commission will provide on the day of nomination to each presidential candidate. Of course, they were raising issues about the numbers, but we pointedly told them that this was necessitated, of course, largely due to the COVID environment, but also the lack of discipline on some of the political actors who do not make it imperative to urge their supporters to be cognizant of the need to observe the SOPs. And we've said that's why we have come up to put these numbers. I know their numbers are not defined in the law, but the Commission has powers under the law to define the method and manner of conducting campaigns. And more so, in the COVID environment, we need to have these regulated meetings where the SOPs can be adequately or reasonably observed. What was the other issue that we talked about? Is tests positive for COVID, where we assured them that, look, you can be nominated in absentia. What is crucial is for the nominator and seconder to be present at the nomination venue. And although some of them were a bit skeptical about the rationale of carrying out the COVID tests, but we say it was for their own good. We don't want them to come with people who might probably be positive, and then if the candidate picks up the virus, you're going to confinement or quarantine when the rest of your colleagues are busy campaigning. So we emphasized it was for their own good, but not to hinder them or to obstruct them from participating meaningfully in the exercise. I think that is generally what we talked about in our meeting with the candidates. Unless my colleagues feel there's something important that we talked about which I should bring to the attention of the press. The actuals of the presidential campaigns, one aspirant is allegedly threatening not to comply the measures put in place by the Electoral Commission to ensure we have a smooth, less disruptive nomination exercise. It's very unfortunate. I would like to urge to aspirants of similar inclinations, if any, to avoid taking that trend. Please let us make sure that this nomination is conducted in a very tranquil stable, peaceful atmosphere that does not cause disruption to the lives of other people. Because you do not need it's not an essential requirement that for you to be eligible for nomination, you must come with a procession of 10,000 supporters, of 2,000. No. The essential people are the nominator and the seconder. Period. If you, the candidate, cannot make it for circumstances beyond your control, we can proceed to have you nominated, provided the nominator and seconder are available. So please, we don't want to use coercive means right at the inception of this exercise. But if you do not leave us with any other option but to bring in the coercive element, then that will be applied. So I want to appeal to the aspirants, and we have emphasized this to those who turned up or their agents, that let us be as compliant as possible. There's nothing that the Commission is suggesting that is a hindrance to the process of getting nominated. Not at all. And that's why we have gone out of our way to ask Minister of Health even to test the people who will be accompanying them to ensure they are safe. So please, I repeat, if any aspirant wants to act in defiance, in non-compliance, then law enforcement will deal with that aspirant. That's all. Because nobody is going to be accepted to operate or to act the way they want and above the law. No, it's not going to take place. Now, on the question of ballot papers, first of all, the commission, which is manned by Ugandans, we also feel that yes, where possible, let the local companies participate in printing of ballot papers. However, it's not a mere sentimental undertaking or process. It's a question of capacity. In our assessment, as I said last time, our technical team realized that there were shortcomings in the technical competencies of some, or if not all, our local printers, particularly in the area of ballot paper printing. Given the high numbers, the high variables, and the time element. Remember, we are operating under timelines which have been restricted by COVID. So it is in that regard that we said, no, I think let printing be awarded to foreign entities. Not because we do not support government policies of BOBO and so on. But remember, we are handling a very delicate process. And the Commission cannot afford to have any delayed delivery or printing of ballot papers. Remember, any delay pushes you or the Commission into a situation or a possibility of non-compliance with the requirement, the rigid requirement of Article 61, Clause 2, where elections must be held within a specific timeline under that article. So, taking into account all these factors, the Commission felt that our local companies may not handle the work within the required time. However, PPDA ruled otherwise. We say there were issues, but we are having further discussions, engagements, to make sure that this is resolved, and resolved immediately. We cannot afford to delay anymore. Time is not on our side. And we cannot afford not to fulfill the requirements of Article 61, Clause 2. We simply can't afford. It's not even an option. It's not even a distinct possibility. You can't, because you have taken the country into other uncharted waters. Now, on now I'm not saying we are negotiating. Matter is still under discussion. This matter is still under discussion. Maybe that's what I meant to say. The matter is still under discussion. It is still under discussion. For technical people, I think the matter is still under discussion with the PPDA. Yeah? PPDA, and I will get, if I get to the full brief, I will let you know. But the matter is still under discussion with the PPDA. Now, on the issue of the numbers,